Hi guys, welcome back to something completely different than what we're normally flying. We are today going to be flying IL-2 Sturmovik Stalingrad. Pretty pretty old game, I would say by now, and one that I haven't played too often. I've done a couple of careers many years ago, so I've basically forgotten most things. But it's a pretty good kind of complement to civilian flight simulators because you have more of kind of missions and it's not really focused on the cockpit, etc. It's more about the flying, etc. That was a lot of etc. But yeah, but basically it's not as much focused on, let's say, the procedural aspects of flying, or maybe to an extent in the sense that you're flying with other planes, but oh well. And that's what we're going to be starting today. So this is going to be like the episode 1 of a new career. I don't own any of these other packages, but I might buy them at some point if this is fun. We're going to be flying for the non-swastika Germany. And we are gonna be, you can pick campaign. You can only see the middle screen. We have advanced to Volga on the near approaches, city assault, prelude to counteroffensive. So you can choose the kind of starting phase. Here's the worst one, the Ring of Death. You even have Operation Uranus. So you can see kind of how yeah, they really broke down on the flanks here, the Romanians. That was a quick encirclement. And then Uranus, it's yeah, they definitely should have pulled out of Stalingrad, but you know, hindsight is it's always easy. We'll start kind of at the beginning, advance to Volga. So this is basically late, or this is very late August 23rd of August 1942. So Fall Blau has basically already begun. You can see that they have almost reached the Volga River. Can't scroll more to the right, but they are a bit further than we can see here on my other screen. It shows them being almost at Krasno Armeysk. Probably butchered that name, but oh well. You can have a few different planes. Unfortunately, some of these planes are unavailable for this account because I haven't purchased them, such as the Focke-Wulf 190. But maybe I can get that at a later stage, let's see. But we'll be using, I think it's going to be the BF-109. So you can choose different starting units. Schlachtgeschwader, which is the Henkel, is it Henkel 129? I think so. And then you have Jagdgeschwader 3 UD. It's a lot of interesting one. We want to do one with like the really with the F-4, I think. So maybe Udet is the one we're gonna do, because I think, or is there one with the E7? That would be pretty cool. Let me just see. Or maybe it's because, oh yeah, it's because of which grouping you're selecting. That's why. So some are, and I can't get the E7. Oh, that's also locked, actually, unavailable for this account. That's interesting. So yeah, there's a lot of things to buy. Always DLCs, right? You can't see it now because I'm selecting on the other one, but I'm gonna think I'll start here with Tusov, and just to speed things up, I'm gonna use the Udea one, I think. One thing, actually, I can technically add some other screens here. So if we add a scene, sorry, I'm gonna go back to this one, and I think, okay, I'm not gonna play around with that now. We'll do it another time. I'll fix it for the next one. Actually, I could actually just pause. I'm gonna pause really quickly. There we go. So now you should be able to see the right side of my screen, and then nice thing is I can then switch as well to the left one. So you can see here the starting units, etc. But if we start with the right one, the one I'm picking is the Ude one. I think I did this in my last one as well, but it seems like a fun one, F-4. So not the best. I think the G2 is, for example, a more upgraded version. At least it's alphabetic that way. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But we'll do Ude. And in terms of, you can see, I'm just gonna quickly have to Alt Tab, and then if we move to the left main, here you can see kind of the starting phase, and we're doing the advance to Volga, and we are we can have that plane. So this is filter phase and units by plane. We will have the F4. We're flying through there, and we can press. I'm not sure if there's any kind of upgrade path or similar, but doesn't matter. Maybe we'll get the G2 at some point. Wouldn't surprise me, but let's see. Otherwise, we'll just fly the F4 till the end of this career. Not sure if you can then continue your career in other campaigns. Would be cool if you could. I'm gonna move back to the center main screen. So we're here at Tusov, kind of leading the charge, and we actually reached Volga up here already. I just realized. So yeah, kind of early on. Or maybe this is what we will reach. I'm not sure how to interpret this map, if it's like after or below, because Operation Uranus one is kind of showing everything having happened already. So let's just do. But okay, we're picking Ude. We'll continue. We can change our portrait. You can see very handsome looking fellas. Oh, we can even have a name. So Elmar Ihlenfeld. Well, let's do that. That sounds reasonable. Our birth date. Let's do. Yeah, let's do that. 9/11. Wannabe. What's our background? German skier, mountaineer, German playboy. What's a wannabe? Oh yeah, here you can see the changes. Yeah, we're not really a veteran, right? So we're a wannabe. Let's do that. We'll roleplay as a wannabe. No nightlife to speak of. This guy seems really cheery. Maybe too cheery. He wanted to go to France, and I guess he ended up here. He wants to make a name for myself. Maybe a year at most if the war lasts that long. He's in for a rude awakening. Elmar Ihlenfeld. Command your unit by appointment, sure. And what's Iron Man? You won't be able to restart the mission. Do we wanna do that? Something weird could happen. Let me check what's the recommendation. IL-2 Iron Man. Yeah, let's try Iron Man. Makes more sense. If we die, we die. We'll fight on for as long as we can. I think it will make it more immersive. In terms of the plane, we'll be flying the F4 though. Is there anything interesting about it? So it was starting to reach the front line units in June 1941, and the production lasted 1 year with almost 2,000 produced. So from May 1941 to May 1942, and they had the new 20mm Mauser MG with 200 rounds as the engine gun. And I think an upgraded engine rating of 1,200 PS, so a maximum speed of 635 kilometers per hour. And And with the clearance of the full rating of 1350 PS, maximum speed increased to 659 instead of 635. So pretty fast. Pretty fast. Let's see if we have any nice pictures of it. So this is how it looks according to Wikipedia. Very sleek. Very sleek design. This one even has some of the yellow, the iconic paint scheme. I think also with command your units by appointment means basically if we're doing well, right, we'll get promoted. Hopefully we don't die early on, but we shall see. Okay, we have the trailer, I presume. Maybe we don't need to watch that. It's just gonna be depressing. So we have advanced to Volga, personal your roster, continue latest newspaper. Okay, and here's the text. So basically it's kind of a simple system. I'm gonna show you all my screens just so you also are familiarized with that. I'm just gonna hide the Steam. So the right one, here you do press next day, you can do unit HQ, planning room, headquarters, word news, and here you can see kind of the days as we're moving forward with our advance on Volga. But we'll go to the main one. In terms of unique HQ, we can see some info about Jagdgeschwader 3 UD. So 3 squadrons, the only group in the 3rd Fighter Wing not involved in the Polish campaign. Anti-aircraft defense for industrial districts in central Germany. In the Western campaign it provided support for Army Group A, advancing across the Ardennes. It's been very intense. Then in Dunkirk, and then in Operation Paula. So it defended the French coastline and began air raids against England only mid-August 1940. And then it was redeployed to eastern Poland in June 1941. And then it's been involved in Barbarossa. And then there's some more info about it. So it existed until it got disbanded in March 31, 1945. Hell, it was even involved in Bundenplatte. That's pretty dope. We can see the personnel here. Kras, Flakowski, Broda von Beer, Heribert Donninger, Günther Koppel. So a bit of a variety. Planning room. So it's just about clicking next day. Headquarters. That's the one we had. And then world news. German Blitz to Stalingrad. 23rd August 1942. If you like geopolitics, it must have been an interesting time to live. Lots of things happening. Okay, a new day begins. Now I'm thinking if I showed my settings, but I don't have it, I think, on fully kind of immersive, so I think I have some things to make it a bit easier for myself. But let's see once it's loaded, if we can see, maybe we can change that. Okay, so we can see clear weather, temperature 20 degrees, millimeter, hecto, that's interesting, 773. South-southwest, wind of 1, okay, so basically no dawn and dusk fog. We were reinforced by additional 3 of these nice Messerschmitt 109s. The pilot's badge, well, isn't that swell? In terms of option, we have career speed realistic, mission start, on runway, power balance, random, I guess. We don't wanna, I'm gonna show you actually the settings because we now have this on the, so I'll change and I'll show you the right main, so you can select the options here. So I'm just changing these. Random. I think that makes most sense, right? We don't wanna tweak things too much. We can do proceed. Free hunt mission in progress. And since this is Iron Man, we're not probably gonna be the most best ace, etc. I really haven't flown this in a while, so what we'll basically do is just try to survive. I think that's gonna be the goal, to make sure we get through trying to do the missions, of course, as good as possible, but without getting killed. So I guess realistic flying. If we die, so be it. Hopefully not. Okay, so here we have, I'm actually gonna do, so we are on expert. So this is the custom ones I have chosen. So basically a lot of the physics are the same. I do keep warmed up engines. I want to have the techno chat. It comes up on the right. Handling tips, I'm gonna keep it on since I haven't flown this in a while. I like this visibility, and I like to see the object markers. No aiming assist, etc. Bombing assist, fine, I guess. Navigation markers, I do prefer that as well. But of course, even if I really realistically just, I guess, go expert and remove all of this. Enhance aircraft visibility far away, that I really need. So we'll keep it on that, on custom. Anything else? I don't think so. So we're now going to start our first mission. I'm going to change back our screen to the, just before I forget, to the center main one. And I'll start the mission. Or let me see actually if we have the planning room. You can see already actually that we have had some wounds. Hans Peter Phillips has been wounded. We're flying here with burnt Weissenberger. We're going to be attacker escort. Dawn, Dusk and Fog. And yeah, that makes sense. We're flying with some of our buddies. Kraus, Frölich, Flakowski, Koppel, Von Beer, Joachim Arndt. And we're going to start mission. So let's see what we're getting ourselves into. And usually these doesn't load too slowly, but let's see. Please wait. There we go. Now it's loading. Okay. We are. Okay, let's see what we have here. So we're just doing the JG, yeah, the JG3 squadron. That's the unit. We are starting here, point 1. Then let me just double check that I'm understanding this. We're then basically gonna fly directly to point 2, which is located here. You can see it's on the other screen. Then we're gonna fly back, point 3, point 4, and then we're gonna land. The landings are gonna be very fun to try to do. I did some trying test landings and it went pretty okay, but let's see. Let's see what else. In terms of, actually I'm gonna switch to the right main so you can see it quickly. I want you to feel involved as well and that you're getting the information. You can see here the designated pilots, the date, the time, the weather, our airfield altitude level, etc. The reason why I keep, of course, having like the objectives on the map is because it's a bit difficult, I find, to find my way back otherwise. It is possible, but you really need to think about it. And maybe I'll, you know, if this game is as fun as I remember, maybe I'll get back into that. But let's see how in depth. So let me see, anything interesting. So a lot of information about what we have. So we have very automated engine systems. Okay, that's good. Okay, we can check setup. This is our plane. Not sure if we can change anything specific. Can we zoom out even? Or are we stuck in this very zoomed in mode? I guess we are. So in terms of we now have X desert. We can choose here a bit which ones we would want. Graph, Philip, Ubben. This is the default paint scheme, which looks a bit boring, but maybe it makes sense if it's the default one. I mean, when I use the X desert one, I guess we can use the X desert one. Maybe that makes sense. We can use, what's this one like, and a red, and then you can't see it really from this angle, but there's supposed to be a red. Okay, so what do we use? A red tactical code, and then what, like a number? Okay, we can be number 7, I guess. So 7 with a red. Okay, okay. Oh, it's the color. Okay, so you're changing the color on the... Okay, I like the red one. We can do the red one. Okay, that's just another one. And we were... What was our name? Something with E? So maybe have like a red. I'll show you by flipping the screen to the main one. So like that E7 with the triangle. Okay, let's do that. Do you want to have a photo in the cockpit? We're a bachelor, right? So no photo. But oh well, I don't think it matters that much. Yeah, I think okay, that's good. We can accept this. So we'll be using this paint scheme, and we are ready to go. So I'll switch to the main one. So this is the one we're going to be using in the missions, or at least the one you're going to be seeing. Well, I'll see all the screens. Okay, so we are starting with engines running. And I'm just gonna check. So O is the button I press to get up the menu. Okay, so crane is flight rook in combat sector over. Okay, that's good. Do we have any flaps? We wanna maybe add a bit of flaps. 20% maybe? They seem to have a bit of flaps. So we'll also have a bit of flaps. So we've added flaps, as you can see down here. I'm not too big of a fan, but it's or I'm not too big of a fan of the controls, etc., or the setup of it. It took me a while, but it's they're pretty decent. Okay, let's see if I can remember. Do I have the... Yeah, okay, I have both tow wheels, they're working. Trims. Okay, they are going. We'll go after that guy goes. So we don't want to crash into anyone. Okay, so we're gonna start adding some throttle. And let's see if we can stay on the... I think we have a lock tail wheel. I hope at least. Okay, let's see if we can get up. Okay, we are climbing. We'll get the landing gear up. Yeah, goddamn sun. So I kind of like to see the ones we're following, even though it is, I guess, a bit unrealistic. I don't like it in civilian flight sims, so I guess I'm a bit of a fraud in that sense. We'll retract the flaps. The reason why I like it is because it's easy to see if you're kind of, for example, drifting away from them. I can see that I need to add a bit more thrust. Now I'm starting to get closer to them. I'm not the best in flying in formation either. You can see here kind of how we're flying, so I'm playing catch up a bit. Let's slow down a bit. But yeah, generally speaking, it's a very beautiful sim. not for the real, but this is pretty decent, I would say. Would of course be cool to have photoreal from the time, but I'm gonna assume that's pretty hard. So are those enemies, or let's try to get close to my mates. Gonna slow down a bit. We can check the map. Yeah, those are our mates, the ones flying over there. So I guess we're trying to probably escort those. And you can see we can't really press anything in the cockpit, but we do have functioning altimeters. So it's in kilometers. So we are now at 1.1-ish kilometers. Is that so? I think so. Okay, and we're gonna slow down quite a bit. I find it quite hard to maintain a formation in this. It's not as easy as I would want it to be. I usually find that I'm either drifting behind them or coming too close to them. Let's hope we don't die by us crashing into each other. That would be a bit of a shame. You have some different throttle kind of levels. So we have continuous, combat, and emergency. I guess combat is for when you're in combat, and then emergency is something you want when you really have to get away, and you don't wanna overdo it, right? Because then you'll fry your engine. Luckily, if I'm remembering correctly, the Russian or Soviet planes are a bit more clunky, so we can use our speed to our advantage. We'll basically do hit and run kind of tactics. Okay, there's Flakovsky, so we know we are with the right crew. I'm just gonna press this quickly. Elmar, Ihlenfeld. Yeah, we are continuing to move. We have a bit of ways to go, but we are getting there. Can I pause? Yeah, okay, I can pause. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, we've been really falling behind, so I'm gonna push ourselves into combat mode and try to catch up with our friends. I didn't check what camos they are using, so that's an interesting question. I really like the clouds. If P3D had these clouds, that would be very dope. They're actually very, I think, well made in Sturmovik. I think they are volumetric. I'm not sure they had this at release, but at least they have upgraded to that. Okay, so Flakovsky is still pretty close. Is he the guy we're trying to follow? Or is he just staying behind because of me? Because he is a wingman. Not sure why he's flying so slowly compared to the rest though. Could of course be my doing. Seems like they are all kind of turning. Oh, yeah, because we have hostiles. Look at that, boys. Okay, so we do want to attack with our speed to our advantage. It looks to be a lug 3s, so that's fighter jets. We don't want to die, so we want to go in and out. I would preferably want to see my friends engage first, just from a pure survival perspective. And lug 3s, those are not, what are they called, biplanes, monoplanes. They're not the ones with the double wings, right? No, it's okay. I probably missed a lot of the. Okay, I completed a secondary objective, which was takeoff. But now I'm getting a bit... Yeah, look at that. My mates are basically continuing their journey while I'm... Because that's the main task, right? To protect the bombers. So I'm not gonna engage them yet, since none of the other planes have engaged them. But it does seem a bit weird that we're not doing anything with those. I can't take on 4 of them. I do have a pretty good spot though to take out 1 or more, and I guess if I'm gonna roleplay I should attack. So I'm gonna actually give a bit of distance. I'm just afraid if they decide to engage me eventually. Yeah, we are quite a bit faster. And we are continuously following our mates. But I have no clue what they are doing. Are we engaging anyone there in front? Sometimes I find this mission a bit odd. Did I lose those, or did they end up hunting me? There they are. Rook 8 engaging fighter to southwest low 4 kilometers. Am I Rook 8? I'm Wingman 7. There's a BF 109, so that's good. Those fighters do seem to be following us. Is that some enemy fighters perhaps? Now they're going further. So yeah, the mission seems a bit weird. We're kind of continuing to point... Okay, let's see that we don't... It's a bit hard to use the map if you don't pause. But okay, so we didn't engage for now. But let's see what the plan is. One of our guys seems to be turning around. So the question is if we're engaging or not. There seems to be some fighting potentially there in the front, which could explain why we skipped those other Russian fighters and just kind of left them behind. So those two are our guys. Question is, what about those aircrafts? Okay, I'm just gonna check if they are engaging those. No, they seem to have skipped. I'm not sure what those lags are doing, to be frank. It doesn't seem to be. Okay, and who's Crane? Okay, that's probably just the nicknames, right? Rook, I guess, the translation from the German one. Okay, I'm gonna calm down a bit with the throttle, go to continuous mode. I think these white ones, the 3, is showing how much ammo we have. That can be good to know. Fuel, we see down there. So we have about a bit over 3/4 left. Speed, we're flying quite fast, almost a bit over 400 kilometers per hour. So not near our top speed, but fast enough. Let me just check no flaps etc. are set. Not sure if there's random failures in this, like could you get your flaps stuck just by mistake? Doesn't seem to be the case. You can see it smoking there. I'm gonna assume that's Stalingrad. There it is. Imagine being here in real life, that would be crazy. At least as a pilot, I guess technically would have a better chance than being one of the guys down there, but yeah, not the best. That looks like other planes. I'm wondering, are we going back? Is this it basically? I'm gonna throttle down a bit. Try to see what our plan. Patrol for ground targets on your own out. Is my nickname Peasant? Can we see it here on specification? I just don't know, unfortunately. But at least we are with the crew. That seems to be our main commander. I do wonder where you chatted with these guys. There is a button for it, but I've forgotten about it. Okay, we're still flying relatively fast. And most of our group is now, I think, together. Seems like the bombers have found their targets, that's good. A bit of clouds here though, quite low layers, that must hamper a bit the fighting. But it does look like there's been bombed a bit, that city. I'm gonna slow down even more. Let's see. I guess Flakovsky is has he been hit? Is that some smoke coming out? Is that maybe why he's kind of falling behind? That's not good. Could explain why we got kind of separated, most of us. Or then he's just been waiting for me because I'm slow as hell. Are those our Stukas or are those enemy fighters? That's the main. Let's get ourselves up in the air a bit. Or get some altitude. Yeah, looks like our Stukas, right? And we don't want to crash into Flakovsky, so let's leave him be. I'll add a bit of thrust. But yeah, generally speaking it's looking good. Not much to report down here. Seems like a successful operations overall. Do I really though have the graphics settings on the highest? We're actually gonna pause it just for that and just check if we can even change that. Maybe we don't. It seems like the kind of range of our view is not that long, but maybe it's not that much to see, it's mainly trees. There is some ground targets. Elmar Stuber. Okay. Yeah, we shouldn't use combat engine en route. I'm just gonna check who Stuber is. He's not within our squadron, so we don't have to care. I guess they are engaging the ground targets while we are patrolling, I'm gonna assume. Let's have a look at our range, or not range, but our speed. Seems pretty okay. I do though wonder, okay, there's one of the 09ers. Anywhere else? Yeah, they are close by. There now that we have some Russian planes taking off. And Günther Koppel is one of our guys engaging fighters. So I guess they are taking off from there. Won't those lag join up with them? I guess eventually. And here we have some of the Russian, seems like static positions. Not sure if we have any allies attacking. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so we're catching up with our mates. The question is this gonna be the engagement now? So you can see the Russian planes there. That's the BF F-4s and some BF 109 E7. I'm gonna slow down a bit just to make sure we're behind them for our own survival. Sounds a bit selfish, but better safe than sorry. That's the commander, so he's coming in. Those are engaging there, and it looks like we are planning on engaging these planes, but I'm not sure what type they are. I think kind of this early in the campaign we're going to be facing off against inferior enemies in terms of the technical capabilities of their aircraft. So that's good news. Pheasant rejoin in a formation and follow our mission. So maybe I'm Pheasant. Okay, let's see. We have one enemy up there which we could engage. Okay, let's try to avoid a head-on engagement. We'll go to combat throttles, get ourselves some speed. Okay, one enemy is down. We had two over there. We want to come up behind them. Let's have a look. Okay, so this is Yak 1s, so not the best planes, but neither the worst. Okay, that Yak 1 is turning away. So we'll be shooting, try to shoot this one down. Yeah, we hit it. Okay, we don't want to hit it too badly. AK that we kill ourselves in the process. Let's remember to go high on the throttle, get away, get some distance. We can always turn around and engage again. Okay, turning around. Hopefully I didn't miss any disengagement order. Does look like we are disengaging, but I'm gonna go in for one more hit. I'll go for the weaker of the two, because that should be an easy target. Or easier at least. We'll slow down a bit so we have more time to shoot it down. We'll do 50. Okay, nobody around us, so just making sure that this chase doesn't kill us. Okay, let's hit that combat throttle. Come down. See, we hit it again, but not enough. Okay. We'll go in for another round, since we have a kind of free playground. I'm not seeing anyone engaging close to us, so I'll take down this Ilya Rabov. They do take quite a bit. Seems like we hit the engine though, so I'm thinking we're gonna get him to eventually. And here we have another fighter though, another yak. So we gotta be a bit more careful now. Let's see if we can maybe get up behind him. He seems to be the commander, Dmitry Sheshchakin. So we are gonna be coming up right behind him. We did hit him. There we go. And we do want to get out, because I don't want to end up so that he can shoot us. Question is, did we finish him? Yeah, I think so. I think we got him. So that's good. Let's make sure we're not pushing it too much, the engine. We want to get home. Okay, we're still engaging. No command to disengage. We have one more yak. One that we should try to get out, or well, not get out, but try to finish off. But I think it's actually coming down now. So let me see. I think it's the farewell. No, it's still going strong. And actually, let's watch out. We don't want to end up in the crossfire of the ground AA positions, as I assume there are a few. I guess this Yak 1 is maybe trying to get some protection from those ground targets. Okay, let's see. We're coming in very fast. Okay, we'll let him survive this time. It's not worth crashing, unfortunately. It's too big of a risk. Or maybe we can actually. Let's see. Can you hit the target? Is he still a valid target? Still looks like a valid target. We can actually do one try, but we'll only kind of have one chance because the risk is too high then that we. Okay, yeah, the risk is too high. I don't want to lose my mates. But I would want to take him out since he did crash. Ah, this is a hard one. Now the kind of playboy roleplay has to come in. Okay, we'll do one more try. Ah, he despawned, it seemed. Okay, so be it. It wasn't meant to be. He survived. We'll check where our mates are. They have continued fighting, but quite a bit further away. So let's see how. We don't want to go into emergency mode, but we can be in combat mode. We don't want to be too long, of course. We don't want to overstress the engine. And look at that, we're below 3/4, soon at half. So yeah, we won't have too long to fight. And seems like some are chasing some enemies. But I think we got most of them. I'm not sure if anyone in our team died. Hopefully not. We should try to gain some altitude. Let's see if we can see anything. Just looks a pile of rubbish. So we'll we'll leave the area and follow our mates back home. And look at that. I guess that's cloud effects. Some rain droplets. So pretty cool actually. Okay, we're starting to get back to our squadron. So I'm gonna throttle down a bit. Don't wanna push it too much. It's very interesting also, you can see this compass one. I think you can also, let me see. Can you press any? No, okay. We'll just use the zoom. But this one, right? Because it's not centered, right? So we have the plane instead moving. So we know we're flying west now, which is where we want to go. So I guess it's not technically not that difficult to do flights without the objectives, etc. But it is more difficult, to be honest. You really need to keep track of your friends, which I assume can be quite hard, considering that it's AI, right? They don't really take you into too much consideration. And I guess they have their other AI mates to take care of. Okay, let's see. Flykovsky, he's flying very slow, so either he's trying to help us all get home, or he is injured somehow, and he has to fly at a slower pace. I think this is it. We are basically now on our way back, and not much else to report. It was a good fight, a reasonable one at least. And now we just need to get back. We'll throttle down a bit. I'm not sure if I'm supposed though to be catching up with them, or if this is fine. We're a bit spread out. We don't really feel like we're flying in a formation. Or I guess kinda if I'm the one attached to our Flakovsky. Oh. There we go. Okay, we can return to base. So we're gonna do that. I think technically you can quit now and you will be considered finished, but I find that it's much cooler to at least land and then quit, even if I break the propellers, for example. Hopefully I don't crash and die. That would be an unfortunate ending. Oh yeah, how do you, let me see, IL-2 radio communications. I'm gonna try to find out what button it is. Okay, for some reason my internet is being really slow. IL-2. Seems to be automatic. I'm actually quickly gonna check if there is send chat. Okay, that's space. Was there another key mapping kind of for it? Markers and chat, show entire HUD, that's age. Mission briefing, M is the in-game map. Okay. I don't seem to have that one. GUI is hidden. Okay, we don't need the UI one. Oh, now I have the FPS showing instead. We don't want that. Not that it's wrong in any way. That's backspace. Okay, so we're learning some new things here. Okay, let's check. We are... yeah, we're following here. So, soon enough we'll be landing. But yeah, after you get the mission complete, you can kind of quit at that moment. It's just for those of us who like the extra immersion of, or the challenge of coming into land. I think that's one thing that I've started to appreciate with the civilian flight sims, right? The landing. And it's not that easy to land. Plus, I guess we might be engaging hostiles again, right? That's always a possibility. I think, at least theoretically, there should be a possibility of... oh, look at that. That's anti-aircraft fire. Is that where we're supposed to land? Is it that close? No, that's another airfield. Aren't we supposed to land? Or are we supposed to land at this one? Huh. Maybe we are landing at this one. I don't see anyone. Some have already landed, that's for sure. Let's get down and then get a view. Maybe we're just protecting the ones landing. Okay, peasant, clear the runway. I guess I'm peasant. So these are where the E7s are landing. And what are those? They're in the distance. Is that enemy aircraft we're seeing? Or maybe some of ours. I'm gonna turn in here and see if this is the place where we are landing, or if we're just making sure our mates are coming home safely. Let's see. Anything else? Maybe I can just land. I'm gonna check if it makes a difference which airport you land at though. So this is not the one we came from. I'm gonna put this up a bit. Not sure if we're coming in for landing here or what's the... always hard to find the right. Let me see. Are we landing here now? They are definitely landing. Because it does look like the point is that we're going back, so I guess technically we can just go back. I don't see any reason for us to dwell it out here. So that E7s, they have all landed. I don't think there's anyone left. Hanuts, is he in our team? No. Yeah, another E7 landed. But we're still just flying in circles here. So are we waiting for our landing clearance perhaps? Or are we... Goddamn AI answers on Google. Okay, let's try to not stress the airframe too much. And be a bit cautious with our fuel. We don't have that much. I just want to know if we can land at this airport, if we have to move on. Let me see. Anything else to do? You do not have to return. You can land and refuel repair at any friendly airport. Okay. Are they landing? I think it seems like one is coming in for landing. Let's just have a look if it's one of our guys or it's another one of those E7. If it's one of our guys, I'm also gonna land here. So we'll do one flyover and then I'll go in for a landing. A visual approach. Another E7. And I think that's the last E7. Fröhlich, what's he flying? Something different, I assume? Yeah, he's in our squadron. So that one's coming in for landing. God damn, we're a lot of planes. Where were all of these when we were, yeah, they were a bit everywhere. F4, F4, I think we're only F4s now, yeah. So let's see what input we get now. And follow our mission out. Okay, so we just waited for that, and now we're gonna start heading home, I think. So let's follow those guys back to our home airport. And do the landing, which I find to be very nice, hopefully, at least. Now, of course, I'll probably fail just because I need to, you know, showcase to you guys how to land, or try to showcase. I'm not really that good with IL. Okay, we can throttle down. We don't need to catch them immediately. It's a very short journey now to our airport. I don't know if I have to wait for the other ones to land, but let's see what's the story once we get there. In one way, actually, because I was thinking about the scenery doesn't look. It looks pretty good for a like flight sim or a military flight sim, but it's nothing spectacular. But then again, we're flying here around. I mean, wasn't like this region of Russia known for just being kind of boring? Basically, just the same fields after fields after fields. One of the reasons also that the Soviet Union was able to win, right? They had so much land to trade. Okay, we're below half. We have a bit over 1/4. Roger. Break off and land individually. That makes sense. But before I land, I wanna know that I know where the landing strip is. It's here somewhere, right? Or have I become blind? It's not too easy to find these kind of makeshift runways, to be honest, compared to when you're used to flying airliners. There we go. Okay, so we found that. We're gonna slow down. Okay, so we are gonna break off and land individually. We know where the airport is, that's the runway. And let's see if we can do this. Gonna drop the flaps. We also want to drop the gear. Maybe we're a bit fast to drop the gear, which should be okay. Okay, we have flaps full. We're a bit low. We have the sun right in our eyes. Are they gonna land from the other side, or is it that I am... Let me take off actually again. Let me see. Can you see kind of where the wind is from? I know it was like no wind at all, but it might be easier to land. I'm gonna get the landing gear up. I'm just gonna check quickly here. Okay, let's see. That's not any enemy aircrafts, right? No, allies. Could we see anything in terms of the wind? Looks fine. Okay, so we can just land straight in. We'll do that. Slow down a bit, we don't need to go that fast. But okay, so we'll have the sun right in our eyes, but could be worse. I do wonder if they are going for the landing now. Or do they do one by one the approaches? I think that one is going in for the first one. Because that one is so low. Let's follow it and land behind it. Yeah, that sun is gonna be a pain. Okay, we're gonna slow down quite a bit. I will make an extra turn, I think. Just to lose some of that speed. Okay. I'll get the landing gear down, get the flaps full. Yeah, okay. Slow down. Descend the landing at 175. Yeah, that's... Hey, look at that. Go around. Okay, so you do get go arounds. I didn't know that. That's cool. Let's just do a go around. Okay, so you do this in some sort of order. I guess we should technically have gone first of all. But we'll do it, we'll do a second go around. It's good to learn whilst you're at it. Okay, let's get out a bit before we make that final turn. We don't have to go that far, I think. It's gonna be quite fine. It's relatively nice to land this bird. Let's see if we get landing clearance now. No, still busy. How long does it take for them to... Okay, it probably takes a while. Okay. Yeah, look at that. We're still on the runway. I'm being way too fast. Let's get that landing gear up again. Third time's the charm. Okay, but we're learning now the sequence of the landing. I'm gonna assume that guy is gonna try to come in as well. We should have just gone first. But maybe we can beat this guy to the punch if we're really naughty. We're just gonna steal his landing slot. And not do it very properly. Gonna come in a bit from left, not that stable. That should be enough. He got the damn... Okay, we're... I'm just gonna wait. Let's get all the guys down. Let's get the guys down. We'll do the last one. But okay, next time let's just do the first one and make it stick. We'll go flap 0 and no landing gear down. What can we do while we wait? We still have in front of us, they're doing loops around, right? So we have 1, 2, 3. We could technically do it before these guys. So we just have to make sure to come in before them. So we'll just follow their path, make sure that guy actually departs their runway on time. We'll slow down quite a bit. Let's do 20%. And let's make sure we get enough time to make a nice turn. We'll turn a bit to the right so we can go and get a nice loop in. Okay, now we're gonna turn. And the guy seems to have evacuated, or not evacuated, but removed himself from the runway. So I think we can now get gear down. We're not really aligned. It could be worse. I think we should be able to get the landing clearance now. But let's see. Let's see if we're lucky or not. Okay. Come on. Ask for landing clearance. The gear is down, so we should be able to land. Anything? Okay, let's see. Yes, now we have. Okay, let's see. Oh, a bit bumpy. Yeah, we broke that. Could have been worse. We survived at least, that's the important part. We came in a bit too fast. But we did it. Ah, not the best landing. Breaking the plane is never nice. But hey, we got landing successful. So we'll finish the mission. Yes. Finally, we can wrap it up. Okay, but yeah, basically, want to go in a bit slower, around 175. Maybe even a bit below that. And then you should get a successful landing. I was just getting get to write this, so my own fault. Now let's see now, because it's gonna load. We finished the mission. Let's see how many we managed to kill. So we got one aircraft, a light one. We completed secondary objectives, escort, landing, takeoff. Landing was a bit iffy. Here you can see how we kind of flew around. Our multiple attempts at landing, but okay. Could have been worse. We can finish. And we got... Let me see if there's anything interesting before we wrap up this recording. Please wait. So, Bernd Weissenberger has gone missing in action. Arndt was assigned as the commanding officer of our group. And let's see here. So this was the one we participated in, where this guy was missing in action. And can we get any input on him? He has got a lot of medals. And he had some pretty nice statistics. So I think we'll wrap up at this point, and then I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching, and have a good rest of the day. Bye bye.